Hello and welcome everybody to this HeflaTV presentation of the Vietnamese Esports Champion League. This is the lower bracket round 2 between Unfat Ultimate and Imba Gaming Vietnam. As well, we're already in the draft. My name is Coucher and joining me will be Whiplash.
Hey Coucher, how's it going, man? It's been a while, but glad to be casting with you once again. And I've also noticed that I get to look at the new beautiful captain's mode selection screen for observers and broadcasters. So I'm excited to see that. But let's get into it, man. We got some Vietnam Dota going on here.
Oh yeah. Well, I've seen or casted a couple of Vietnamese games. Yesterday was one, of course, for the same league, but previously, before that, I've only casted one Vietnamese team, I think. So, not too much experience for me at least. Is it different for you?
Unfortunately, not. I have maybe like played with a Vietnamese player once or twice, but I can't recall. Maybe there was like one team like months ago that I casted, but I can't really recall the last time. So I won't have too much detailed information on the players, but I'll do my best to bring the play-by-play action for y'all.
Oh man, and looking at the bans, they actually leave the Doombringer available and it gets picked up immediately, but still heroes like the Batrider and the Invoker can be picked up for Imba, but they start with a Centaur.
Yeah,
Wow.
a really centaur pick. Interesting. Same with Visage as well, a hero that I guess we haven't seen as much as we did, maybe 4 or 5 months ago. He used to, be top tier pick, and he kind of fell off for a while. But I've seen teams kind of pick him every now and then, but still, uh, not a hero I've been seeing as much. What are your thoughts on their first two picks?
Well, I think Centaur is pretty damn solid as far as offlaners go. Almost always you can get the Blink Dagger with a decent enough timing, as well as enemy support. It's just so hard to harass the Centaur out thanks to the return because you take so much damage in return as the ability indicates. Although the
Yeah.
Visage, man, that definitely has fallen off quite heavily. It can be strong, especially if you are aiming at something like an aggressive tri-lane maybe.
hmm
And of course
Yeah,
familiars, just scouting things out as well.
Yeah, if we see this Doom in like a safe lane farming position, then the Visage would definitely be useful if, like you said, they go for some type of offensive tri-lane. But already we're going to see the Dire. They pick up the Shadow Demon, which can be a very good defensive hero in those tri-lane scenarios, and can help set up ganks and kills as well. So liking the Shadow Demon pickup. Of course, nowadays Doom is just so versatile with his ultimates, so I see no reason why you wouldn't pick him up as a first pick nowadays as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, that hero scaling into, well, any stage of the game mostly, it's pretty damn ridiculous to be honest. But I mean, at the moment, the drafts, I don't think either team actually gives away too much about what they're gonna go for as the draft continues. Ban-wise, Unfat, they actually ban out a lifestealer of all the heroes. Is there a certain reason to it?
I mean, he's not bad against strength heroes, and Doom generally ends up having a lot of health towards the later stages. And I guess the combined with the Centaur, it would be a decent, lifesteal bomb. But other than that, I can't really think of any big reasons. And also some things I've noticed, only the Panda just being banned out now. He's really been picked so much and valued so highly in the recent meta. So surprised that he hasn't been picked up yet, and that Batrider hasn't been picked up yet as well.
Oh yeah, it's the Battler actually, it's really funny to me that I've seen him just being completely ignored for way too many games to be honest. Like some teams, they're still like, okay, Battler, just sick initiation, you get the early Blink Dagger, and you start picking off heroes, going for objectives after that. But so far at least, both teams have chosen to ignore it for God knows what reason. Maybe they just don't feel as comfortable on the hero or who knows what. But
Yeah,
Viper, yeah.
I have seen a few teams kind of ignore Batrider, but I still feel like, I mean, he's extremely powerful, still the best initiator in the game. And it is, maybe teams have just gotten more comfortable playing against Batrider. That could be a reason. But yeah, what's up with this the Viper ban? Anything noticeable with that or the TA?
Well, maybe they wanted to go for a TA themselves, like mid lane Viper is pretty nice against that. And I mean, Viper, I guess overall is just a kind of a tanky hero, annoying to bring down. You can't really jump in with the Centaur and hope to burst him down, for example. Although I
Hmm.
think maybe that hero is getting a little bit too much credit as far as just getting banned and picked goes.
Yeah, I guess so. With the Enigma pickup, how is this going to shape up their lanes? Are we going to see this Enigma in the jungle, or are they going to try something crazy, put him in the off lane, or maybe like a solo safe lane? Centaur goes aggressive try. Are you seeing anything that's sticking out?
Well, for me, if I had to put my money on it, I would still think they're just going standard. Center off lane, Enigma jungle, Visage plus one safe lane and somebody mid. Because I really don't think having a center either mid lane or farming up the safe lane would make it worthwhile sending the Enigma off lane. But
Okay.
wow,
Yeah.
Unfat picking up the Vengeful, so I guess a direct counter to the Enigma, at least the black hole of it.
Yeah. That swap would be very nice against him. So, okay, we have the basically both teams have picked up their supports. Potentially, the offlaners have been picked up, depending on where the stream will end up lane wise. And we're going to go into the last few picks here. We have two more picks for each team, one more ban. Any predictions for heroes we could potentially see from both ends? Are they going to go for, I guess, the carry, or are they going to get their mid laner, you think?
Well, I guess either one is fine. It just depends what they think is more likely to get banned out as the fifth ban. I think heroes like, I wanted to mention the Razor because Razor is really good against Doombringer, as well as once he gets that Aghanim Scepter, he helps out with the push, which they already have with the Visage and the Enigma. So it just kind of finishes out their lineup. A casual mech carrier for themselves as well, unless Enigma wants to build one so Razor can go straight up for the Aghanim, speed up the pushing process maybe. I was expecting maybe like a Luna to come out as well, although I think it's still a possibility as the fifth one.
Okay. Yeah, I actually really do like the Razor pickup. As you mentioned, Kyle Shore, he's pretty good against Doom, and that's because as long as you get off your static link and your Eye of the Storm before you get doomed, which is pretty easy to do, then like both of those abilities aren't canceled out by Doom. So during that entire team fight, it's like okay, you take a little bit of extra damage, but Razor's still a pretty tanky hero anyway. And the Doom has to deal with all of his damage getting stolen, and people have to worry about getting the negative armor on them. So now we have Tidehunter as most likely the offlaner for the Dire picked up. That leaves pretty much, from the look of things, just a mid laner left for them. And Imba will be looking to grab their final carry.
What do you actually think of the Doombringer being just either mid lane or in a core role? Like, how
Uh,
do you prefer your Doombringers?
I really like him in the safe lane, actually, unless it's against an offensive tri lane, which in that case he's, I would say, one of the weakest or weaker carries in that lane. He can be pretty good mid. I guess it just depends who you're up against, because you can just eat up one of those satyrs and have an insane amount of regeneration mid lane combined with Scorched Earth, and pretty much no matter what, you'll get your farm of Devourer. I guess against melee heroes, he may be a little bit better overall. I'd rather just put him in the safe lane if I had the fight against a Razor, because it'll be really easy for Static Link to just, bully you out of the lane.
Oh yeah. But to be honest, I really love the Death Prophet ban coming out from Imba Gaming. Because Death Prophet, it would have allowed Unfat Ultimate to go for that earlier Roshan with the Exorcism. Since they have the minus armor from the Gush, as well as the Wave of Terror from Vengeful. Plus, of course, just in the fight, the Exorcism does so much, and the Silence. Not only would have it wrecked Enigma probably, because its range is pretty damn nice, as well as the AoE of it. And it also would have wrecked the Ember Spirit. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true. I also think it would make Roshan a little bit easier to have the Death Prophet with them. So I think that was a very solid ban. I have to agree with you there. But Ember Spirit is the last pickup. Do you think we'll see Ember Spirit mid, or is this going to be a Razor mid? Because I guess it's pretty interchangeable depending on what they want to do with their lineups.
oh yeah, it's really gonna come down to what APU has to throw up against them in the mid lane as well, I think. If the Ember Spirit can get some room control, it's probably better for them to send the Ember there instead of Razor. But of course, if it's like a melee hero from APU in the mid lane, it's just Razor completely wins that matchup, at least mostly. So it just depends a little bit on the last pick at the moment, I think, and I wouldn't actually give an advantage to either one in the mid lane, but
Ooh,
wow, a troll!
a troll mid, eh?
Wow,
Ah,
I did not see that one coming, I have to admit.
neither did I. I guess. That's an interesting pickup. I still, from the look of the lineups, I do like Imba Gaming's lineup a little bit more, but both teams do have significant team fight power just across the board, and I guess a decent amount of tankability as well as burst damage. So, um, do you have a side you're favoring a little bit over the other?
Well, I think Imba probably has it better off, since I don't think they're gonna get crushed early or mid game. Although, with the Shadow Demon and Vengeful roaming, they can definitely set up a lot of kills around the map. And I'm kind of hoping for them to actually either smoke up or just 5-man into the enemy jungle and ward a lot of the Enigma's camps.
Yeah, definitely. Get those camps warded. Don't let the Enigma kind of just get away with having an easy jungle, so to speak. So, yeah, I think that's a good idea. I would hope that they end up doing that in the first place. But we have a bit of a disconnect here. I'm sure we'll be back pretty soon, and then I guess we can go into player introductions afterward.
Yeah, and, well, I really think that Ultimate, the pressure is kind of on them to make things happen early on, because Imba, they can definitely rely on their late game with the Ember Spirit, the Razor, and just of course Enigma and Black Hole late game if he can properly land it. And he actually doesn't even have to land it 100%, because just the threat of a Black Hole coming towards you, it always makes you think about your positioning, and you can't go in as deep as you otherwise might.
Hmm. And there's also, I guess, both the Enigma and Ember Spirit are important targets to Doom this game, so Doom's already a little bit split on who he's going to want to put that debuff on when it comes to these team fights. They'll have a good amount of initiation with the Tidehunter. I'd say maybe a little bit better than the Enigma, unless positioning is perfect for the Enigma. It's, yeah, I definitely think Imba, as long as they have a solid early game and they don't get ganked and killed too many times, I think they'll be a-okay.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be the case, I think. So Ultimate, well, the last player has reconnected at least, the Troll, and to be honest, the Troll, it actually gives them a pretty moderate access to Roshan Pit as well early on, with just having the Fervor for extra attack speed, and of course, man, the Battle Trance, I'm just kind of sad that there's no heroes at all, apart from the Troll himself, who can make good use of that Battle Trance, because they don't have those heavy right clickers.
Well, I mean, Doom can kind of benefit, I suppose. He'll be building into attack speed anyway, though. But yeah, there's not too many right clickers, I guess, on their team besides just the two, I guess, carries in the game. But let's go ahead. This is the Vietnamese Esports Champions League, I believe, and I'll go ahead and introduce Imbalance over in the Radiant end. On the Ember Spirit, it looks like he will be mid after all. It's going to be about 7-7. And then as the support Visage, we have Super Hugh. And then over on the Enigma, that will be going into the jungle. It's Silon GG. Over in the safe lane, as the Razor, it will be Jennifer. And then finally, last but not least, in that off lane, we have Kinzu on the Centaur Warrunner.
And for Unfat Ultimate up on the dire side, Blackhawk will be playing the Shadow Demon, leaving Goblin to play the safe lane Tidehunter, mid lane taken up by Cherry on the Troll Warlord, Leavin playing the Vengeful, and last for them will be 16th July up on the Doombringer. And like mid lane, Ember Spirit versus Troll, I actually think that the Troll is maybe gonna have a small upper hand there. But of course, the supports are already kind of in position to maybe go for some rotations early on.
I think it'll come down more to the supports rotating than the heroes mid lane. They're both going to be able to kind of do damage to each other, zone each other out a little bit with both the Flame Guard and the Whirling Axes, but it's not a matchup mid I will see too often, so I'm actually a little bit curious to see how it works out. It's already, it looks like we have a bit of dewarding in the mid lane. Blackhawk may come in and use an early disruption onto this Visage, but no, he actually just denies the ward.
Oh, I mean, I have seen that battle so many times for the exact same positioning. Oh man, unfortunately for Visage, he actually only missed the first time uphill. But of course, denied ward means no 50 gold for the supports of Imba. So small victory for Ultimate, but still they lose an Observer ward. And I don't think they have any sentries of their own. No, actually Vengeful has them, but he's already bottom lane. So he's not gonna get there anytime soon. Oh man, just losing the wards early on is actually pretty damn painful. at least they do have one Ruin Vision anyway from the bottom lane.
Yeah, at least there's that one rune. But this is really interesting. We do have basically an offensive tri-lane with the Doombringer against this Razor, as well as the Visage. So I guess from what I can tell, they want to abuse the fact that they have a jungler and the lanes are going to be relatively weak early on anyway. But I would have expected maybe a hero that's a little bit better in those tri-lane scenarios if you're going to go ahead and do a tri-lane.
Oh yeah, I can't do anything but agree with you there. It's definitely a little bit weird. And actually, 16th July looks like he wants to eat the Ogre Frost Mage here at the moment just to get that extra armor. It will help out if you actually want to dive, but it won't really help if you actually going for the kills. So, and once again, we're coming back to what you just said. It's not the most usual of aggressive tri-lane heroes because you actually can't go that aggressive with that hero.
Well, at the very least, they will be able to put a lot of pressure onto this jungling Enigma, as well as the bottom lane in general. And beyond that, though, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. We'll see how it ends up working. There's double damage on the Vengeful Spirit. He's going to spot this Enigma, doesn't throw out the stun. But we could have an early engagement here if this Enigma wants to kind of get a little antsy around here. He's scaring away this Doom as well as the Shadow Demon back into the lane. And he's actually just going to end up killing off those creeps.
Yeah, actually, really nicely done by him, just denying the Radiant creeps themselves as well, just in case. And he already has his Soul Ring, which will speed up his process. And well, the disruption got used on Jennifer. But just no follow-up stuns, no nothing. Vengeful wasn't close enough. And even if he was, I'm not too sure if that would still be enough to kill the Razor when he's at full HP.
I mean, Razor's still a pretty darn tanky hero. If you actually look at his statistics, early on, his strength and agility, I mean, they're both 26, minus the 2 tangos, so he's decently tanky, as well as has a little bit of armor. He's got 4 total with that early ring of protection. So I don't necessarily know if they can take him down too early on, especially with what we've been kind of harping on all game, this Doom in the offlane that doesn't really provide a lot of offensive utility.
Oh yeah, and I mean, they're looking for something Vengeful, rotating around, even using a sentry just to make sure that nobody spots his movements. But he can't really go gank mid lane because Enigma is in the way. Although Enigma actually, almost 4 minutes in, he's just about to hit level 3. Usually they're doing a little bit faster, but he's been stopped. Actually, the magic missile, he might get the first, but one more right click, Leavin will get it.
That was just good positioning by the Venge. Waiting for the right time when he knew he could basically just throw out that stun, as well as getting a few right clicks. But, I mean, the Enigma, he did finish his Soul Ring right before he died, so it doesn't really slow down his jungling too much, but, I mean, the extra first Blood Golden experience is very nice for the support Vengeful Spirit, who can probably now pick up her boots.
Oh yeah, the boots definitely help, and I'm kind of expecting for him to go for maybe that Medallion of Courage now. Speed up the early Rosh even more, as well as just the damage output of the entire team when you're going with physical damage. So, definitely gold helps out, and I'm actually really a huge fan overall of supports getting first bloods.
Yeah. Well, speaking of supports, we do have 2 players from Ultimate rotating towards that middle lane. They may end up going into this jungle to spud out the Enigma. They're just patiently waiting, decide, okay, well, we'll kind of just, set up camp here and wait for the proper timing. I think they're actually just going to kill off this creep camp, get some experience, because they're not accomplishing anything else here.
Oh man, I thought like they're going to leave the small center, but no, they have to back off. One idol and scouts them out, so better safe than sorry. But they've been really sneaky so far as their supports, and they're just getting a lot accomplished, I think. Although the Enigma still has a moderate amount of farm, but just the supports on Ultimate, it's not that they're that level hungry. They're not doing great either, but now a smoke comes out, and is it going to be top or mid lane?
It looks like it may be mid lane, but the Vengeful Spirit wrapping around to head top, so I stand corrected as they head to the top lane. It's been relatively even. I mean, it's just 2 extremely tanky offlaners that are kind of hard to take down. The Centaur, he is level 6, so there is a chance that he can stampede out of there, and indeed he does it, but he's caught inside the disruption at the same time. Can he get in the right location? He puts down a stomp, and they use the Ravage. They really want to get this kill. Stun follow-up, and then there's a second kill for Ultimate.
Oh man, they definitely didn't want to pop the Ravage, but the magic missile actually didn't come out soon enough by Leavin. he got hoof stomped in return, but in the end, I think it's definitely worth it in the early game because I don't think the Tidehunter really planned on just rotating around anytime soon anyway otherwise. So just kill secured, getting some extra levels on your supports of course, and the gold. Although Tidehunter, I mean, he had these arcane boots, a healing salve and tangos, I really thought he's just gonna stay on lane.
Yeah, well, yeah, that is interesting. I'm not sure why he would go back home unless he wants to rotate to a different lane, but even then, not sure exactly what he's up to. But regardless, just looking kind of overall at the big picture, Ultimate does seem to have a slight advantage, especially in gold, but as far as experience is concerned, Imba have been being pretty darn efficient with this jungle, and having their heroes more spread out and kind of staying towards the lanes more or less, so they actually have a little bit of an experience advantage.
Oh yeah, I mean, just Jungle Enigma is so damn strong, although this Jungle Enigma hasn't been that successful. Of course he died once as well, but 7 minutes in, he's not even level 5. As far as Jungle Enigmas go, or what you're expecting out of that hero, I think it's kind of a letdown so far. But still, once he hits that level 5 with the Soul Ring, can easily go for the push, especially since it's only a Doombringer trying to defend at the moment. And actually the Doombringer, he's going for a straight up mech.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I suppose they do want to have a lot of early game presence and just preventing this Ember Spear from getting too much farm, and of course, you know, just disrupt this Enigma as much as possible before we can get this Blink Dagger up. I definitely would support that. It doesn't seem like there's too many really important items that Ultimate will need to grab on their team. Whereas we look at Imba, they definitely need to get, like, you know, either that mech or Blink Dagger on the Enigma, and Ember Spear does want to go up to that Battle Fury as soon as possible.
Oh yeah, actually top lane Magic Missile does connect, but they don't have the Ravage and they don't have enough damage either. Goblin stunned up under the tower, Super Hue comes in, but Goblin, he's just way too tanky for it.
You're not taking down that Tidehunter, but still, Centaur does survive. He has to go ahead and put Stampede on cooldown, but definitely a trade worth making. Meanwhile, mid lane, there's a bit of a dive. Troll thinks smarter and backs off, but 7-7 on the Ember Spirit. He's a bit low on health, and it seems like mid lane overall has been decently even. Maybe this Troll has a slight advantage, but a lot of people coming to this top lane, and they're diving very far for Sentry. He will be revealed, and he'll put down his stomp. Okay, he actually gets stunned in the meantime. Okay, there's your stun. And will he double edge follow up as well? Maybe he can actually get a kill. No, the Ravage coming out afterward, but Jennifer as well as Visage, they're coming in. They get a kill, instant buyback from the Centaur as well. Tidehunter, he's able to TP out just in time. So lots of rotations to the top lane, but despite that, it really is just a 1-for-1 trade minus the buyback on Centaur.
Yeah, I mean, the buyback definitely hurts him because it sets back his Blink Dagger by quite a lot. He was actually around 800 gold or so, now suddenly only 200. And of course, just Imba using some TP rotations for it. And man, the Tidehunter, I have no idea how he got away because actually...
Oh, mid lane! So close, he actually gets him! He used the triple Fire Remnant mid, but there'll be a switch on him. Stun follow up as well, the or the Flame Guard helping out as well. He's trying to turn it around. Can he actually get a kill? He gets the chains off, and that will be a double kill. But 7-7, if he can manage to escape, which is what it's looking like. And this is definitely swinging the mid lane into the favor of Imba.
Oh yeah, man, so huge, you never want to feed in Ember, and that's exactly what happened eventually. He went way too deep there. I have no idea if he actually thought he's gonna get the kill, but Flame Guard soaking up all of the damage of the Magic Missile, and that was about it. But coming back to the last fight for a second, Tidehunter, the Malphite actually connected from the Enigma, but he already TP'd out, so the mini stun came out like a little bit later once he was already back in base. So Tidehunter a little bit lucked out there, but of course, I have to commend the Centaur for what he did, just running into the jungle or into the trees like that, catching the enemy heroes, like blocking them in.
Yeah, he did pretty good there. Looking at supports once again, they've joined this Doombringer. In the bottom lane, he's picked up his Doom, so he can actually be pretty darn aggressive. And not to mention the mechanism that he recently finished. So bottom lane may get a little bit more scary nowadays. But as I say that, there's a smoke from Imba. Centaur charge as well. Looks like at the top lane, they're going to try to take out this Tidehunter. A lot of damage is being kind of stolen from him. Razor will get the last kill, and now we'll have the Doom as well as Vengeful Spirit. They're coming in. Can they actually take out the Centaur? There's actually no mana. You can't use Doom. And during that, another team fight where it looks like Troll Warlord ended up dying to the rest of Imba's forces.
Oh, they're gonna go for more. 7-7 going for Black Hole. Gets the Searing Chains. That damage output with the double damage rune. Oh my god. They should have even just melted there, but Imba, I mean, they were behind in the super early game, but suddenly they're just striking back, and Jennifer gets another kill. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. All over the place, man. I guess their heroes, they really start the come online around level 6. Before then, maybe it's a bit harder. Mid lane tower will fall, so Imba getting a first tower on their end. Meanwhile, there's still 2 heroes top, I guess, for both teams, although this Doom's he's a bit low on health. I think he's just going to go ahead and heal up in base, get enough mana for Doom. So yeah, overall, Imba, they've taken a 5k experience lead as well as a 3k gold lead, so they're on track to a pretty solid mid game.
Oh yeah, indeed they are, and to be honest, if a Doombringer goes for early mech, he just doesn't have any mana to do anything because he TP'd top lane previously, already 75 mana from that, then came in, used the War Stomp, another 100 mana, and then he couldn't use his mech or his ultimate, so he was pretty much a walking, just melee creep, a tankier version of it.
Yeah, that's a good point you bring up. I suppose that's the trade-off for mech. If you have that, then you're going to have much less mana to use when it comes to these team fights. And now we have a 4-man smoke, as well as the Doom in the top lane, so this could be a timed life on the Centaur if these heroes are near. Ravage is off cooldown. Tidehunter doesn't have Blink Dagger quite yet, but he's not far away. And we'll probably see this tower just end up straight up dying.
Yeah, they even used Battle Trance for it, just to make sure they actually get it before any trades happen, but bottom lane, the Eidolons, the Familiars, they're helping out pushing, so it's probably going to be a trade.
Yeah. And smart use of the Midnight Pulse. You may want it for the fight, but it at least takes out the trees or the potential of enemies that come from those tree areas. And yeah, everyone just backs away from Imba. So it's actually, that was overall a good trade. They had to kind of TP almost everybody to the bottom lane, but they do save their tower for the time being, and they get the top one.
Yeah, and actually with this now, Goblin has his Blink Dagger on the Tidehunter, he just needs to pick it up from the side shop. So Blink Ravage is available, Medallion of Courage, actually, oh never mind, he blinked back, I was like, did he go in? But yeah, there's a Medallion of Courage on the Vengeful as well. So they're getting some items to maybe allow them to just start getting easy pickups in return.
Yeah, and Enigma actually has the recipe for Mechanism in his inventories, so next team fight, he'll have that available for his team, but he is kind of lacking in the mana department currently, so he may have to choose between Mech and Black Hole unless he's pretty careful with the Soul Ring and when he uses his other abilities.
Oh yeah, it's definitely true, but at the moment, looking at the graphs again, actually, it dropped down a little bit recently, but still a solid 3000 gold lead for Imba, and the XP, oh my god, it's 8,500 almost.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant difference at this point. I think that this Enigma, if you look at him and the Ember Spirit, they're already both past 70 last hits, and earlier on in the match, Ultimate was the team that was really getting a lot more farm in on their cores. That certainly has kind of changed around as the game's progressed on. And yeah, next team fight Imba, I'm looking to see what they can accomplish. This Ember Spirit, he's really going for a mid-game oriented build. I believe he's going to pick up a Ring of Aquila because of that Wraith Band already in his inventory, and he's also has some drums as well as a Poor Man's Shield, so foregoing that earlier Battle Fury for a lot of mid-game stats.
Yeah, it's not bad having just some extra stats, especially if you're up against a Doombringer. Once you get doomed, you can't do much of anything except for just hope that you can run to a safe distance and survive it, but Static Link activated from Jennifer, just boxing out the Doombringer, and they want to get the tier 1.
I don't know if they can get this tier 1. They really will have to commit, I think, their entire team if Imba wants this tower. But once again, throwing out that Midnight Pulse just to clear off some trees, give a bit of vision. And okay, there's your Centaur ultimate, Stampede. Stunning up Tidehunter ever so slightly, but both Familiars end up dying in that exchange, so hey, I'd be okay with that if I was ultimate, but okay, we're gonna see the initiation. There's your Ravage, though. They still are able to blow up the Troll. And the Centaur may end up falling next. Mech used to keep him alive for the time being. Doom on this Enigma, so we won't have his ultimate, but Ember Spirit now coming in. He absolutely just cleans up everybody on ultimates, and this Tidehunter, he's really weak. He's running away, but that team fight was definitely won very one-sidedly by Imba, despite a very nice Ravage initiation, and we'll probably see 2 towers as the price for that team fight exchange.
Oh wow, I mean, Kinzu, he was so close to dying, but then the mech came out from Silong before he got doomed up. So that was actually a huge part, so that the doom was used, but he still got the mech usage before that. And now, not only do they claim an epic teamfight for themselves, plus they get 2 towers. So that is a huge swing in their advantage, because they were already hit before. They're just, to be honest, if they just pick up the next set of items now, they can probably like def push every time. Just gather up, go push. Of course, Ravage can stop it maybe a little bit. But ultimately, they don't have too much damage after the Ravage.
Let's not forget that Enigma didn't use his Black Hole last team fight. He has that ability good to go. Basically, Imba can fight whenever. Stampede's already off cooldown. If they want to 5-man and take more towers, they can totally do it.
Oh yeah, and I guess that's probably exactly what they are planning to do as well. At least I would think or hope so.
And I'm looking at Ember Spirit as well, just something quick to note. He's going for a Desolator this game, which pretty much just means they want to push and end this game a little faster earlier on. It can be a really good item on Ember Spirit earlier on, but the Battle Fury does scale better into the late stages.
Yeah, I think it just indicates that he's not so prone to just farming, but instead they just want to fight constantly. And with the haste rune, looks like that's exactly what they want to do. He's gonna get the vision and maybe Kinzu jumps in. Oh man.
No, nice disruption though from the Shadow Demon. Keeping this troll alive for the time being. Whirling Axis helping out. He's gonna TP out. Oh, actually that's TP in. And Sledfist will finish the job on the troll. He buybacks instantly. They're gonna go on the Goblin. 10 seconds on Ravage, but he is down, so no Ravage available unless the Tidehunter can buy back. But no, he has no money for that. And this means another tower's gone, another team fight won, which may not even be over. They're gonna go and get Vengeful Spirit from the look of things. Mech keeps him alive, but then Double Edge from Centaur that finished the job. And even though this Ember Spirit is doomed, we're seeing the use of the mech and all those stats really help him out a lot.
Oh yeah, and oh, another beautiful two-man hoofstone. Cherry goes down. Can they get the Doombringer as well? Jennifer, he has 112 stolen damage. There's the Black Hole only onto 1, but kill secured as. Probably they're gonna get Doom as well. Man, this certainly looks like an early GG happening.
Actually, I just realized the score right now, Couchshore, is 17-3. So keep that in perspective of how this game started out, looking very even Ultimate having a bit of an edge, and Imbalance have just completely overrun this game. Like, everything's in their court, every single big team fight's completely gone in their favor. Almost all of the tier 2 towers are gone. Roshan can be taken out at any point by Imbalance as well. This game is really looking to be an easy win for them at this point.
Yeah, one important thing is that Ember Spirit didn't have his finished Desolator in that last fight. So in the next fights they're gonna have even more physical damage to throw out at ultimate. And there's only one single tower, or outer tower rather, left. It's just so bad, and EXP, it's almost surpassed 1k EXP per minute for the advantage of Imba.
Ouch. Well, we have the smoke, so this could be the final fight. Doom's on cooldown for a few more seconds. And there's your Ravage right there. It hits onto 2 heroes, but so far everyone's still alive in Imba, and even pretty healthy. Mech's used on both ends. Goblin really low on health will be disrupted for the time being, but he's still gonna fall, and down he goes. Ember Spirit slicing around. He gets the Shadow Demon. Now Doombringer will fall as well, and everyone else in Ultimate's running away. This is pretty much looking like GG. The troll dies. Vengeful Spirit is basically hiding in the trees, and the GG is called by Ultimate. They know that it's pretty much just not gonna happen.
Oh, it was so close to 22-3, man. That's a dream of the viewers always, like 3-2-2. 1 kill away, 1 kill, man. Wow.
It's...
The new Victor, it's like Imba Gaming Victor.
Imba Gaming Vietnam Victory. Cool. Well, a very action-packed game, and I believe you said it is a best of 1, if I recall, Couchshore?
Yes, it is.
All right, so congratulations, I suppose, to Imba. Their Ember Spirit wrecking the place up 8-0, and Razor as well with 7-0 did very well. So yeah, it just obviously the better team was imbalanced this time around. I think the drafting or the lane stages rather were a little bit weird from Ultimate.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree. I definitely think that they could have ran it a little bit better. Just go for like that safe lane, try lane instead. Maybe get Doom super farm, maybe, and go for that Hand of Midas or something. But I guess their decisions, maybe just learning from their mistakes for the next cup, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have Mineski versus Invasion coming up in about 10 to 15 minutes probably, if the teams are actually on time. So there's at least one more best of one coming your way, so don't go anywhere. And if you liked us, be sure to follow us on this channel as well as HeflaTV too. And check out all our social media. All of them are HeflaTV. You can find the links below the stream anyway. And of course, be sure to follow at Whiplash on Twitter.
Okay, and don't forget at Couchshort as well. But good cast, and I suppose we will see you guys in 10 to 15 minutes.